Well, good morning. You join us in the sleepy village of Shear, which is probably just waking up. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. We're here in Surrey, and Shear is a very picturesque little village, and it's also been used quite a lot in the movies. You've probably seen it in The Holiday, Four Weddings and a Funeral, and Bridget Jones. So let's have a little look around. Shear is nestled in the Surrey Hills about 6 miles from Guildford, and not far from a famous location involved in the disappearance of novelist Agatha Christie. If you watch to the end, we'll take a trip to that location. Shear really can be classed as a quintessentially English village. It has 2 pubs, a stream, ducks, a museum, and a wonderful array of period buildings spanning the 15th to the 20th century. It's the sort of village that draws visitors for a stroll, relaxation, coffee and brunch. It's also a mecca for cyclists that fill the Surrey Hill lanes on a sunny day like today. As we join Middle Street, notice the arch on the right. This was a freshwater well given to the village by 2 local maidens in 1886. Very religious, alcohol was the devil, and they wanted patrons of the nearby White Horse pub to have an alternative. Sadly, water stopped flowing in 1970 due to changes in the water table. The Dabbling Duck, a cafe and restaurant, looks a nice place to stop and eat in the village. In 1896 there was a striped pole sticking out of the building here, advertising the local barbers for grooming. This is the old wooden fire station dating from 1885, which was turned into the local toilets in the 1970s. The River Tillingbourne runs through the centre of the village. It joins the River Wey at Guildford. It was a working river in days gone by, powering a number of gunpowder, paper and flour mills in the area. 2 big industries in the village and the parish during the 18th and 19th century were weaving and tanning, with freshwater being needed. I read that sheep stealing was a big issue during the 1830s, with many from the surrounding area being smuggled to London. We are now walking along Lower Street, parallel with the river. This is Lavender Barn, which was converted into houses, as most industry buildings have been now. Further along is Crumbs, the local bread shop for grabbing your morning fresh loaf. Just coming round the corner on the left in the shade is the old forge, which I guess was the original blacksmith's. This was the old prison house with its wooden bar window and a plaque confirming its historic past. Keep walking down this picturesque street and past more lovely cottages. Over the wall are some allotments hugging the river, and then quite a surprise, a very sweet timber-framed bridge crossing a ford. The river is really shallow, so the water just trickles lightly over the roadway, hence the name Ford. A really peaceful place to stop and just listen to the nature around you. Beside the ford is a public footpath I explored briefly, one of the many walking trails in and around the village. It's very pretty and a favourite with dog walkers. Let's head back into the centre and explore Sheer Lane, which merges with Middle Street at this point. The first of the two pubs is the White Horse, built in 1425 as a farmhouse. It became an inn during the 1700s and apparently was a meeting place for the smugglers planning the sheep robberies. They have a resident ghost. The body of a young Victorian girl was found in the chimney during a 1955 refit. Most recently, it's also famous as the pub featuring in the Christmas favourite The Holiday with Jude Law, Cameron Diaz and Kate Winslet. It's a lovely place for some food and drink while you visit. Heading up Sheer Lane, we pass the second pub, the William Bray, although it's had a few names in the past. With its sunny terrace and elevated position highlighting the Surrey Hills, this is a good place to have a tipple and some food. The Bray family have been lords of the manor in Sheer since the 15th century, and still today are very active in the community. We pass a building that was once a malt house. The White Horse at one time had its own brew house. Maybe some of the malt was destined for there. There are a couple of shops and some lovely cottages up this hill that take us to the boundaries of the village in this direction. We'll head back down into the square opposite the White Horse and keep exploring. There's still a lot to see. I said at the start that this was a sleepy village, but actually it's really popular with ramblers and cyclists, so places like Hilly's Tea Shop do become quite busy, as do the streets. We were out early just to ensure you see the buildings and village more easily, so bear in mind it's quieter now than it will be later in the day. We have seen the steeple of St James's Church a few times now, so let's head up towards this church, passing as we do the First World War memorial that was unveiled in February 1921. St James's was constructed in 1190, and as we walk under the Lich Gate, note the Horsham stone on the roof. It's a very picturesque place to be. To the side of the church is something quite unusual that we've never seen or heard of. The scarring on the wall is the location of a very small cell used by Christine Carpenter as an anchoress of Shia. As an extreme form of worship to God, Christine was bricked into the cell. 2 windows inside the church allowed her to see the service and receive food and water, but basically she was enclosed for an unknown period in 1329 and then again in 1333. There are no records of what happened to her. Let's have a quick look inside the church properly. A very sweet church to wander around. In the churchyard is a gate taking you across the stream and up onto Gomshall Lane. We'll explore the pretty houses here shortly, but let's just take in the river again, and then I want to share another short walk by the church that takes you up for views over the surrounding area. So I'm taking a little walk just out of town. It's just a 5-minute walk. I'm going to see if I can find where they filmed the Iris Cottage. It was filmed here in Sheer as well, and it was a set, so there won't be a cottage there, but we might well be able to see the land that was used. Well, I can't find it. I've had a good walk around the fields here, but I have to say, even though I haven't found where they filmed it, because I think there is a plaque or something there, the walk is stunning because you see the Surrey Hills, and it's beautiful around here, and it's just a few minutes walk from the town, or the village. Let's head back towards the pub again. We keep gravitating there, and then up Middle Street to roughly where we started first thing this morning, and explore the last area, which is Gomshall Lane, which has an interesting link to the Christmas card. And of course, I haven't forgotten, I promised you to check out the Agatha Christie location nearby. From Middle Street, we'll first turn right, and a short way down the road is Sheer Village Hall, built in 1922 to honour the men that returned from World War I. The original parish hall next door has become the Sheer Museum, but sadly that wasn't open when we visited. Across the road is a vintage red phone box next to the old telephone exchange that's been converted into one or more homes. Sir Henry Cole, known as the inventor of the Christmas card, lived in the village in 1860. Here we can see the first commercial Christmas card he commissioned. This cottage across from the local school, that was then called Elm Cottage, was his home. Later I understand it was also the local butcher's, which must have been quite something. Further along is a little restaurant called Kingham's, with a lovely water feature in the garden. Let's turn back and go left at Middle Street and see the final selection of picture-perfect houses here in Sheer. So this is Newlands Corner, right up high in the Surrey Hills, and it was here on the 3rd of December 1926 that Agatha Christie went missing for 11 days. Somewhere around this area she dumped her car, no one really knows why, and 11 days later she was found in a hotel in Harrogate, checked in under an assumed name. And it's always been a bit of a mystery whether it was some sort of mental breakdown she was having, or it was some sort of publicity stunt because she had a new book out at that time. Lots of conspiracy theories, but no one really knows. So yes, it's here just a few miles from Sheer that you can see the location that she dumped her car and disappeared. Well, there we are. That was a very pleasant walk around Shere. A little bit extra at the end there with the Agatha Christie link. So we've got more like this on the channel. Please do subscribe and join us again. Check out our playlist for other videos with lovely little villages to go and visit. But thanks very much for joining us, and we'll see you again on the next one.